It's time for Kit Kat 1, 2, 3. Kit Kat 1, 2, 3. Kit Kat 1, 2, 3. Yay!
Only Nickelodeon would let two kids bring you their own cartoon show.
Hi, I'm Henry.
And I'm June. And this is KaBlam!
Henry and June bringing you KaBlam! Friday, 8, 7 Central, only on Nick.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Nickelodeon. Today we'll be covering the first sketch comedy Nicktoon of the bunch, KaBlam. KaBlam is the 7th Nicktoon I'll be reviewing for this series, the first one to be an anthology series, featuring multiple shows and vignettes within a single episode. Some of these include Action League Now, Life with Loopy, Sniz and Fondue, and Jet Cat. It was created by Bob Mittenthal, Will McRobb, and Chris Vicardi, and multiple other collaborators working on the shows within, such as Stephen Holman, Mo Williams, and Sue Rose. It aired for 48 episodes, from October 11th, 1996 to January 22nd, 2000, for 4 seasons. It is the first Nicktoon I've covered to never be released in full on home video. It only had one official release on VHS, and only for one episode, which is Won't Crack or Peel. KaBlam is mostly known for being one of the more obscure Nicktoons ever made. In addition to only having one episode released on home media, multiple episodes, such as Ka-Fun and the last episode Just Chillin', were lost for many years until resurfacing in the mid to late 2010s. The reason the show was never released on home media was due to some of the shorts being under different copyright holders that weren't Nickelodeon, leaving them unable to release the episodes with these shorts in full. The only time it reran since the mid-2000s was in 2016 as part of the Nick Splat block on Teen Nick. A couple episodes were also available on Paramount Plus before being taken down late last year, but all episodes can be found and watched on YouTube, which is where I watched them. Beyond the novelty, is KaBlam something worth revisiting, or is it better left in the past? Because this is more of an animated anthology sketch comedy show, I'm going to divide up all the segments and review them as separate entities, then discuss my overall favorite episodes. Alright, let's jump into this. Henry and June. Henry and June are the introducers to all of the segments on KaBlam. They're basically the hosts of the show. Henry is more reserved and cares more about the overall structure of the show, or June is more laid back. Henry and June are fine, but nothing really special. They have a pretty good dynamic and play off each other pretty well, but they mostly just exist to introduce the other more interesting cartoons. In the first 2 seasons, they didn't do much, but in the later 2, they get a lot more to do and more of a dynamic to play off of. My favorite moment with them would be when they decided to go to the real world in season 4's The Best of Both Worlds, and they turn into live-action children. And they get hurt a bunch because cartoons can't feel pain, but real people can. Unfortunately, during the last season, they also decided to make Henry and June a lot more quippier, like constantly talking about celebrities that were popular at the time. If you don't know who they're talking about, I'm guessing you won't really like their statements. Overall, I really like the datedness of KaBlam, but that's more because it's unintentionally funny and not intended. Also, Henry ended up being like a bit of a butt monkey. Like, he never got to win anything. That was kind of sad, so oh well. Action League Now. I really enjoyed this segment. The heroes being screw-ups and another town liking them feels nice in a world saturated with constant superhero content nowadays. The writing is also pretty sharp and funny. A couple of writers for Action League Now would end up working on SpongeBob, i.e. Tim Hill and Derek Drymon. And for the first time in this series, Nickelodeon, not KaBlam, the voice cast was primarily based in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, instead of Los Angeles or New York. Most of the voice actors are or were radio personalities in Pittsburgh, and I think that works well with the type of humor that these segments had. It's a bit sharper compared to other shows on Nickelodeon at the time. My favorite segments will probably be Thunder and Lightning, Melty Dearest, and Tears of a Clone. And my favorite character would definitely be Thunder Girl. She flies like thunder. Sniz and Fondue. To me, this is a less interesting version of the Angry Beavers or Cat Dog, and it's not really funny. I think I cracked a smile at this one maybe once. I like the segment The Borrowers, but that's about it. It's just kind of a generic, washed down Angry Beavers to me. Also, something I really didn't like were all the panty shots that the main characters get. They all wear dress-type garments, and every episode the camera makes sure to focus in on their crotches, and I don't like that. It's decent, it's not bad, but it's not really funny, and it's nothing really special. And this one actually had an opportunity to become a full-fledged Nicktoon twice, but it never did. It got replaced by Rocco the first time, and it got replaced by SpongeBob the second time. So, I don't even know why they considered it in the first place. It's okay, but it's nothing special. Life with Loopy. This is my favorite segment out of all the recurring segments on KaBlam. I really like the art style, with all the main characters being puppets with magnetic facial features to animate them. It's a really unique style, and I wish that this show could have been turned into a full-fledged one, like Action League Now Barely or Angela Anaconda. The mixing of live action in these segments was also pretty interesting to see, like Mother Nature being a bowler or Larry's favorite show being just a guy running around in a chicken suit. It's all very surreal, and all the backgrounds and the lighting of the show also add to the almost fever dream feeling of it. I also really like Loopy as a character. She's really sweet, determined, and feisty. She's like an even weirder version of me as a kid. My favorite episodes of this one would probably be The Trouble with Inflation, Goldfish Heaven, and Loopy and the Snow Lady. The Trouble with Inflation episode actually made me cry at the end of a particularly bad day, so I say that's my favorite segment of pretty much any KaBlam segment. It was really nice. I'll mention here that I wrote this script during the time my mom was in the hospital, so I was really emotional the whole week that she was gone, and I had to watch KaBlam during it. That's why I was crying during Life with Loopy. So if this script seems a little weird, that's because I was just really depressed that week, so just letting you know now. And she's all fine now and everything. My mom's back home. I wrote this script 2 months ago, but just letting you know. Yeah, everything's good now. Prometheus and Bob. Pretty well made, not very funny, but at least interesting to watch. I think it might have been funnier in traditional animation rather than claymation, but I applaud their effort. Maybe if they had actual voice acting instead of just mumbling, it could have been nicer, but yeah. These ones are also pretty short, and the same basic premise is the same every time. Prometheus, an alien, tries to teach Bob, a caveman, how to do basic things, like painting or putting on clothes, and Bob fucks it up every time. It is pretty good claymation, but that's basically all I can say about it, because the segments themselves are very short. My favorite segment would probably be Treehouse, but all of them have the same basic premise, so you can really watch one and still watch them all. Somehow, this was the only KaBlam segment considered to get a movie made out of it. Apparently, this was Amy Heckerling. She directed Clueless and Fast Times at Ridgemont High's daughter's favorite KaBlam segment, and she wanted to produce a movie based on them, and that obviously never followed through. But this one? Okay. The Offbeats. I really like Mo Williams' style as a whole. I especially loved his books as a kid, so this one has a place in my heart, even if I like Action League Now and Life with Loopy more. It's kind of like Hey Arnold, where most episodes are kind of chill and about kids' lives, but it's a bit more surreal than Hey Arnold. They have a talking dog named September. They have a bunch of weird stuff. The backgrounds also look really nice. They're like something out of kids' picture books, which makes sense. I think it's cute, and I wish more segments of it had appeared in general, but at least we have the Offbeats Valentine's special, and I'll review that when I'm done with all the shows in general. So this one's fine. The characters, they don't have much character, but it's cute enough, and it was nice to see it pop up. Race Rabbit. This segment was actually made by the guy who made Big Time Rush, Scott Fellows, and it shows. It's basically just a live-action cartoon, with all the real-life people acting as wacky as cartoon characters despite being full-grown men. I don't particularly like these, but I don't dislike them either. They're just not for me. The bunny in it is cute at least. He's like a race car driver in the British countryside, and he's getting sabotaged by 2 full-grown men that want to kill him because he's a spy. It's something. It's something. I don't really understand why it's British. Maybe that makes it funny. to somebody. I don't know. It's just not for me. And this one only appeared at the end of the series. They're only in season 3 and 4. The ones I talked about before were either fully in the show for the whole run, so seasons 1 through 4, with the exception of Season Fondue, which is 1 through 3, and the Offbeats, which is 1 through 2. So, there you go. Jet Cat. I wish this one had more episodes because it was a really cute cartoon. I really like Jet Cat and her gang of miscreants. I wish this one was made into a full series so we could see more character dynamics and more actiony, complex plots. The art style is also pretty interesting, with everyone having unibrows, but I think it was made around the wrong time. If KaBlam aired more in the early 2000s instead of the mid to late 90s, I can see Jet Cat being made into a My Life as a Teenage Robot or Kim Possible type series aimed at older audiences. But it just wasn't meant to be. It came about at the wrong time. And here are my best one-shots of KaBlam. These ones only appeared in one episode out of all of them. So, there you go. Anemia and Iodine. It's a pretty cute idea about goth cats doing a seance. I really like the art style for this one. It looks like Rocco's Modern Life. Overall, it was cute, interesting, and has that goth touch that I really like. The girl with her head coming off. This one has a really nice, wavy animation style. I think it's a good example of late 90s type of minimalism. It also has a kind of melancholic tone, which I really like. It's a really nice short. They also made a couple more of them that aired in between commercial breaks on Nickelodeon back in the day. They also have the same kind of chill, melancholic style that the original does. It's kind of like a proto As Told by Ginger, except not ugly. Fuzzball. This kind of reminds me of what I assume Pepper Ann is like. I've never seen it, but I've seen reviews. A day in the life of a middle school girl. I personally was a middle school girl at one point, and I thought this could have been interesting as a whole series, but we eventually got the same basic middle school concept was As Told by Ginger, which I've already insulted this episode, so I'll shut up about it now. I also really like Fuzzball and her friends' designs. They're really cute. And now I'm gonna go on to the worst one-shots. What is the worst of KaBlam? Let's see. Angela Anaconda. I hate Angela and I want to punch her into the sun. She's ugly, she's mean, her face annoys me. I don't like her nasty self at all. I don't understand why this was able to be spun off into a full-fledged cartoon show, and Action League now is stuck being a clip show package. Life with Loopy never got anything after this. Jet Cat, nothing. I don't like these shorts at all, and I don't know why she got to be an actual cartoon. I know a lot of people hate on Angela, and I'm going to contribute to it, because I didn't like these at all, so fuck you. Patchhead. Unfunny and very annoying. I like the idea of having live-action segments in a show that's mostly animated, but this one wasn't a great start for those kinds of shorts. Also, I hate the announcer men's fake hillbilly teeth. If they wanted full authenticity to the South, they should just pulled all their teeth out. Also, in one short, there's like a Confederate flag in the background, and that's not great to watch nowadays. Emmett Freedy. Aggressively ugly art style, bad voice acting, and a stupid, shitty plot. Not enjoyable to watch at all. I'm glad this was a one and done because, ugh. There are a couple other aggressively ugly CGI segments that came out of KaBlam. The one that comes to mind for me the most is the Shizagi. And I'll put some pictures up on screen of it now to show you what it looked like because, yeah, it exists, but I don't want to watch it. Overall, KaBlam is a pretty fun show to watch. I like the idea of an animated sketch comedy show or comic book, and I think they pull it off pretty well. The different animation styles, claymation, traditional stop motion, along with Life with Loopy's puppetry, and even some live-action elements and segments, help them pull off something that will definitely never be seen on Nickelodeon again. I think that they could have done with like a 30-minute format, just really cram the cartoons in there. But unfortunately, they were stuck with 22 minutes, so a bunch of Henry and June, and then like a couple of recurring ones was mostly how it went. But the ones with the one-shots were really special, so I'm glad we got them. Now I'll do the best episodes. Season 1, You've Tried the Rest, Now Try the Best. Some good Henry and June moments in this one, like Henry trying to stop June's hiccups by throwing her into a volcano, but it still doesn't work. And the cooking segments with both of them. The Life with Loopy episode in this one, with Loopy and Mother Nature facing off in a bowling championship to stop the rain, is one of their best episodes. The Sniz and Fondue segment in this one, they're trying to hide from loan sharks, is one of the best episodes for their series. The Action League Now and Offbeat segments for this episode are also pretty good. A great mix of all the shorts creates the best episode of this season. Season 2, E Pluribus KaBlam. The Henry and June segments don't really follow a common theme here, like in the first episode I covered. But like Henry failing to speak French and getting a love letter from his mommy. The Action League Now episode where they kill a bunch of aliens by accident is also one of their best and is also one of their funniest. The rest of the segments, Offbeat, Sniz, and Fondue are fine, but the Action League segment makes this one of the best of the series. Season 3, Holdeth the Pickle, Holdeth the Lettuce. This episode's Henry and June segments take place in colonial Williamsburg, where they meet the townsfolk of the time and eventually end up getting locked in a stock because they think they're witches. So it was pretty funny to me. I enjoyed the Henry and June segments here. We got a good Jet Cat here. We got one of my favorite Action League Nows, which is Tears of a Clone, where they all get cloned and they all fuck it up. And also one of my favorite Life with Loopies, which is Loopy and the Snow Lady, because it has some really interesting art direction. I'm very happy with this episode as a whole. So that's my favorite one of Season 3. I had to rewrite this one because I had a different episode here, but I hope you didn't notice that. Please don't notice that. Season 4, Just Chillin'. This is the final episode of the show, and one of the ones that was lost for like 15 years until Henry and June's creator, Mark Merrick, uploaded it to his website. The Henry and June bits of them running out of budget and having to do the show without color, eventually with puppets, was a really creative idea and really ahead of its time. It feels like a BFDI bit, like 10 years before BFDI was a thing. Race Rabbit is as strange to me as always. It feels like a live-action cartoon that downed a bunch of pixie sticks and cocaine. The Action League is fine, but nothing special. And the Dave, son of Hercules, is fine, but also nothing special. It's the Henry and June bits that really pull this episode off for me. I'm glad I can watch it now. I'm glad it's not lost media. And now here's the worst episode of the show, which is Comics of Champions from Season 1. This one is the worst purely just because Angela Anaconda is in it. I'll tell you that much. She is a nasty little girl who fantasizes about murdering other kids she doesn't like. It's not even funny to watch. Just make her a little psychopath and be funny, but they want her to be like a Doug or an Arnold. Someone who appeals to all kids when she just doesn't. Make her an asshole. Make her more insane than the premise would actually work. But it doesn't, so it sucks because they want her to be the everyman, but no kid fantasizes about killing their classmates like she does. At least I didn't, so. The Action League is fine, but nothing special. The Henry and June segments don't have a theme, and none of them are particularly strong. I like the Baked Alaska one, though. I'll show you a picture right now. And Sniz and Fondue are boring, as always. I like Thunder Girl showing up to surprise Henry at the end of the episode, but that's about all the good things I can say for it. It's just boring, and in the case of Angela Anaconda, it sucks ass, so oh well. Overall, KaBlam is a pretty good smorgasbord of a cartoon show, and it didn't deserve to have its episodes lost to time. Luckily, we can watch all of them now, so you can experience each series as they were meant to be seen. I'd look out for the Action League Now, Life with Loopy, and Offbeat sketches, and wouldn't expect too much from Sniz and Fondue or Prometheus and Bob. I think you should check it out and see for yourselves, just in case it gets taken off YouTube again. Now, next week, things are going to get a little angry. I'm going to cover the Angry Beavers, so I'll see you then. Stay mad, baby.
From Nickelodeon's animation studio in Hollywood, Nicktoon World News with Henry and June.
I'm Henry.
And I'm June.
Who's taking baby steps down Hollywood Boulevard?
It's the Rugrats. After 10 years and 10,000 diapers, the Tinseltown Tots are getting their own star on the Walk of Fame, a sidewalk in Hollywood where screen stars' names are immortalized in concrete.
And no one deserves it more than the Rugrats. A side note, they're not the first toons to be honored this way. Other famous cartoons with their own stars include Mickey Mouse, Bugs Bunny, and Harrison Ford.
Henry, Harrison Ford is not a cartoon.
But he's so perky and flexible.
True, but he's not a toon.
Well, then I would like to apologize to Mr. Ford for dropping that anvil on him. I'm Henry.
And I don't know why I bother.
And now you're in tune.